Good evening, children. In our English class, we are discussing The Dear Departed Part 1 under the theme Wit and Humor. The Dear Departed is a one-act play and it is written by William Stanley Houghton. In the previous class, we have discussed half part of the play The Dear Departed one. Once we recall what happened in the previous class. Before that, once we have a look at characters. See children here, he is Abel Merriweather. He is father of Mrs. Emilia Slater and Mrs. Elizabeth Jordan. Both are sisters. Both are married. Mrs. Emilia Slater married to Henry Slater. And Mrs. Elizabeth Jordan married to Ben Jordan. She is Victoria, a girl of 10 years, and she is daughter of Mr. Henry Slater and Mrs. Emilia Slater. There is one more name. His name is Jimmy. He is son of Mr. Ben Jordan and Mrs. Elizabeth Jordan. For him, dialogues are not there. That's why his image or his name is not mentioned here. Okay children, now once we recall what happened in the previous class. Victoria was playing on the streets. She was in colorful dress. Mr. and Mrs. Slater found Victoria's grandfather lying dead upstairs. So, Mrs. Slater instructed her daughter to change her dress. Mr. Slater has sent a message or a telegram to Victoria's aunt Elizabeth and Uncle Ben regarding death of Abel Merriweather. He is father of Mrs. Elizabeth Jordan and Mrs. Emilia Slater. And Emilia Slater's husband, Mr. Slater, expressed his doubt they may come or not because both sisters have quarreled each other, and Elizabeth said she would never set her foot in Mrs. Slater's house, and they haven't visited for a long time. And next, Victoria's mother, Mrs. Slater, started to think about the things which she liked to keep in her room before the arrival of her sister Elizabeth. So first, Mrs. Slater told her husband Henry to wear her father's slipper. And next, they are too small to Henry Slater, even though she is saying they will stretch, and she doesn't want to waste the things which are belong to her father lying around. And next, she got her eye on the bureau. But Henry said, you have to arrange the things with your sister while dividing up the things between both of you. But she is trying to convince her husband to have that bureau in her room before the arrival of her sister, Mrs. Elizabeth. Then they may not know that bureau belonged to her father and that belongs to her sister, Emilia. So that is her plan. Let me see what is the response of her husband, Emilia Slater's husband Henry. Let me see through the play. See here. Henry, I wouldn't care to. With stupefied. See, he was stupefied means confused. He was stunned. He was confused after listening the ideas, thoughts of his wife, Emilia Slater. Mrs. Slater, don't look so daft. Why not? Daft means here stupid, silly. Don't talk like that. Don't think like that. Why not we have that bureau in our room? Henry, it doesn't seem delicate somehow. Delicate means sensitive. Here it means it's not at all good to bringing down that bureau without informing her sister, because they have to share things equally because their father was dead. So now they have to share the things. What are the things left? They have to share equally. So Henry is saying it's not at all good. Mrs. Slater, we could put that shabby old chest of drawers upstairs where the bureau is now. Elizabeth could have that and welcome. I have always wanted to get rid of it. See, what is her plan? Okay, then you're saying that we have to share equally. Then we do one thing. We will keep that shabby old chest. Shabby means old one, unworthy, not valuable, not that much value. So we keep that old chest. Chest means box or a container. So we keep this whole chest of drawers upstairs where the bureau is. And then Elizabeth could have that. Then Elizabeth uh, feels that she thought that the old chest only belonged to her father, not that bureau. And then she will welcome that. She will have that. I have always wanted to get rid of it. And one more thing is, don't want I don't want that shabby old chest in my room. So then the problem is clear. She explained her thought, her idea to her husband Henry. Then Henry, suppose they come when we are doing it here. It means it refers to shifting the old chest to the upstairs and bringing down that bureau. Suppose they will come when we are doing that, when we are shifting these things. Then if they come, what will happen? Mrs. Slater. Then I will fasten the front door. Get your coat off, Henry. We will change it. See what she is saying? Then we will do one thing. I will fasten. Fasten means close or lock. I will close the door. I will lock the door. And you remove your coat. Get off means remove. Remove your coat and we will change the things. Mrs. Slater goes out to fasten the front door. Henry takes his coat off. Mrs. Slater reappears. So she closed the door and she came back. Mrs. Slater, I will run up and move the chairs out of the way. See, I will run up. Run up means move quickly to some place. To where? To the upstairs. Why? To move the chairs out of the way. The chairs which are on the way to bring that bureau down. I will adjust those chairs. Then it will be easy to bring that bureau down. Then Victoria appears, dressed according to her mother's instruction. So what she instructed, before that she was in colorful dress. So she said, change your dress because your grandpa dead upstairs. He was in upstairs, he was dead. Victoria, what have you got your coat off for, father? She is questioning to her father, why you have removed your coat? What are you going to do now? Henry, mother and I are going to bring grandfather's bureau down here. So he explained to her daughter, mother and I both we are going to bring your grandpa's bureau down and keep in our room. Victoria, are you planning to pinch it? Pinch. What is the meaning of pinch? Pinch means steal. Steal అంటే దొంగలించడం. Are you going to steal it? It refers to bureau which belonged to her grandpa. Henry, no my child, grandpa gave it to your mother before he died. See, Henry was shocked after listening the words of her daughter. And he is explaining, no, not at all like that. Your grandpa himself gave it. It refers to that bureau to your mother. So we are shifting that down. Victoria, this morning, when he gave it, this morning, Henry, yes, this morning. Victoria, hey, he was drunk this morning. Oh, maybe he was drunk. Drunk means drunk is a past participle of drink. Drink, drank, drunk. So he was taken alcohol. He consumed alcohol. So that's why, because of that alcohol, he talked like that. He promised. He gave that bureau to you. Mrs. Slater appears carrying a handsome clock under her arm. See, she went up. She ran up. She went up to arrange the chairs which are on the way to bring that bureau down. While coming down, what she brought? She brought clock also. So what are the things she are planning to steal? First, slippers, her father's slipper. Next, her plan to have that bureau. Now she brought down clock also. Mrs. Slater, I thought I would fetch this down as well. She puts it on the mantelpiece. Our clock's worth nothing and this always appealed to me. Why she brought that clock down? Because the clock which is belonged to her father is very beautiful. Handsome. Handsome is beautiful. and next it is worth more than worth to their clock, so that's why she brought down. And because of that it appealed to me. Appeal means tempt. It tempts her, and it attracted her to have it. That's why she brought down that clock also. See how she is bringing that clock along with her, and this is the old chest, shabby old chest, which they have to shift to upstairs. She is her daughter, their daughter, she is observing everything what her parents doing. Next, Victoria. That's grandpa's clock, Mrs. Slater. Be quiet. It's ours now. Come, Henry, lift your hand. See, she is shouting at her daughter to be silent. And she is saying that now the things which are with in our room, they are belong to us, not to your grandpa. Okay, Henry, now lift your hand. Lift your hand means carry that old chest to shift to the upstairs and bring the down bureau. See what happened. Henry and Mrs. Slater, very hot and flushed, stagger in with a pretty old fashioned bureau containing a locked desk. So finally, they exchanged the things. They brought down that old fashioned bureau. Pretty means beautiful, beautiful old fashioned bureau. And they have locks also, locked desk also. They put it where the chest of drawers was. So finally, where they kept, where the old chest drawers is there, in that place they kept the bureau. And straighten the ornaments. Straighten means arrange, adjust. They kept a few ornaments related to them and locked it. There is a knock at the door. The knocking is repeated. Knock means a sound, talpu kottadam. So they listen to the knock and it is repeated. Can you guess, children, who are they who are knocking at the door? Yes, Victoria's uncle and aunt. Victoria ushers in Ben and Mrs. Jordan. Ushers means welcoming, showing the way, welcoming. She welcomed her aunt and uncle. The latter is a stout, complacent woman with an irritating hair of being always right. She is wearing an outfit of new mourning. Let me see up to here. See, the later. Later means the second person. Former means first one. Later means the second person. The second person is Mrs. Jordan. She is a stout. Stout means fat woman. And complacent. Complacent means, let me see what is the meaning of complacent. Complacent means self-satisfied and proud. Always she feels proud and self-satisfied. With an irritating irritating hair means annoying attitude. That means making others very angry. And she is saying always she is right. Always she is right. And she is wearing an outfit of new mourning. Outfit means here clothes which is suitable to the new mourning. Mourning means very sad thing. Sadness. What is the sadness here? The death of their father, Abel Merriweather. Next, coming to her husband Ben. Ben is also in complete new mourning. He is also dressed according to the situation, and he is rather a jolly little man, but at present trying to adapt himself to the regrettable occasion. See here, he was jolly man. Jolly means he was always happy. He was a happy man, but now situation is very sad. So he himself adapt. Adapt means adjusted. He himself changed, adjusted to the situation. So he also in a mourning dress which is suitable to the situation. Regrettable occasion. Regrettable means very sadness. Unfortunate, disappointing situation. Mrs. Jordan sails into the room and solemnly goes straight to Mrs. Slater and kisses her. The men shake hands. See, children, before this situation, before the death of their father, both sisters quarreled each other. They dislike each other. But now they have to share the things which are related to their father equally. That's why they are acting like they like too much, so much. See here, Mrs. Jordan sails. Sails means moves into. She moved to the room and solemnly goes straight. She goes straight. First, she went to her sister, Mrs. Slater, and she hugged her and kissed her. The men, who are the men here? Henry's, Henry, Henry Slater and Ben Jordan. Both are shook their hands. Next, Mrs. Jordan. Well, Amelia, and so he has gone at last. So, see what she is saying. Well, good, it's good. Finally, he has gone. He refers to Merryweather, the he for their father, Mrs. Jordan and Amelia's father. Finally, he was dead. Mrs. Slater. Yes, yes, he has gone. He was 72 a fortnight last Sunday. She sniffs, means like that. She's saying, yes, he has gone. He was 72 a fortnight last Sunday. Like that, she said with full of bother. See here, fortnight. Fortnight means 2 weeks of time, 15 days. 2 weeks of time. So he was now, at present, now he was 72 years. Ben. Now, Amelia, you must not give away. We have all got to die sometime or other. See, he is consoling Ben. Consoling means Odarchadam. Ben is consoling Amelia. You must not give way. Give way means become emotional. You don't cry. Don't become that emotional. All we have to die one day. Someday we have to die. So no need to cry. Don't cry. Don't be get that much emotional. Mrs. Jordan. And now perhaps you will tell us all about it. It means the situation. Now you explain what happened, how it was happened. Mrs. Slater. Father had been merry this morning. He went out soon after breakfast to pay his insurance. See, father had been merry. Merry means happy. He was very happy. He was all right this morning. And he went out. He went outside also after the breakfast to pay his insurance. Insurance means a installment money, a life insurance. We are paying, we are saving money for our future or for our next generation. So it's a life insurance. He went out after having a breakfast to pay that insurance. Ben, my word, it's a good thing he did. So he was a good person. He is thinking about his daughters. That's why he paid. He saved some money for them. Mrs. Jordan, he always was thoughtful in that way. He was too honorable to have gone without paying his premium. So, here, see what she is saying. Her father, he refers to her father, Abel Merriweather, was always thoughtful. He was thinking about his future, or about always he is thinking about their daughters. And he was too honorable. He was very, very honorable, very good to have gone without paying his premium. Here it means he did very good, he did very well. After paying that premium, he was dead. That means he thought about his daughters. Henry. And when I came in, I found him undressed, sure enough, and snug in bed. So after coming back, he undressed, he changed his dress, and he was snug in bed. Snug means comfortable, restful, relaxed. He was relaxing in bed. So everything okay. Mrs. Slater. And when we had finished dinner, I thought I would take up a bit of something on a tray. He was lying there for all the world as if he was asleep. So I put the tray down on the bureau, not on the chest of drawers, and went to waken him. He was quite cold. See, she is explaining now how it was happened. And when we had finished dinner, after completing dinner, I thought he is a old man, so we will give something to him. That's why she kept something, a bit of something, maybe snacks like that, on a tray, and she went upstairs to give to her father. Then she saw that her father lying asleep. He was slept there. I put a tray down on the bureau. First, she said that she kept the tray on the bureau and she corrected herself. Not bureau, because where is bureau now? Bureau is in her room. That's why she corrected herself. No, bureau, no, on the chest of drawers, because now the chest of drawers is there in at the upstairs, and went to waken him. Waken means it's a past participle of woke, waken. So getting him up. Then he was quite cold. Quite means completely. His body was completely cold. Apas. They wipe their eyes and sniff back tears. So they are acting, they are crying. Mrs. Slater, rising briskly at length in a business tone like. Business tone like means you want this or that, like that. Briskly means quick, fast. Quickly, fast, she asked in a business tone. Well, will you go up and look at him now, or shall we have tea? See what she is asking to the visited people, who are visited people, Mrs. Jordan and Ben. She is asking to them, will you go up and look at him now, or shall we have a tea? If you are in that place, what you will do, children? First we will go to that person and we will see how he was dead, what happened to him, but what they will do, see. Mrs. Jordan, what do you say, Ben? She is asking to her husband, what we will do now? We will go and look at the father, or we have a tea? Ben, I am not particular. I am not particular about that. That is your wish. Mrs. Jordan, surveying the table, well, then, if the kettle's ready, we may as well have tea first. See, what a daughters they are. Surveying the table. Surveying means examining, observing. She observed on the table and she is checking if the tea is ready. First we have the tea, next we go upstairs. So she is asking if the kettle is ready. Kettle means this is the thing which is used to make it tea. So if it is ready, first we have tea. Mrs. Slater puts the kettle on the fire and gets tea ready. Henry, one thing we may as well decide now is the announcement in the papers. So they are thinking about the announcement in the papers. Mrs. Jordan, I was thinking of that. What would you put? What we have to put in the paper as an announcement? Appas means they took some time. Mrs. Jordan, well, we will think about it after tea, and then we will look through his bits of things and make a list of them. There is all the furniture in his room. So what is the intention of Mrs. Jordan? First of all, she wants to know what are the things left belong to her father and what are the things they have to share between them. So she is saying we will think about that announcement after having a tea. So first what we have to do, we have to write what are the things, the is bits of things, the things which are related to them we have to list out first. And she is saying all the things what I observed in his room, only furniture is left. Furniture, it's a plural form, there is no furnitures, it's wrong, only furniture. Henry, there is no jewelry or valuables of that sort. He is saying yes, maybe only furniture, not any valuable things like jewelry, gold, like that. Mrs. Jordan, except his gold watch. He promised that to our Jimmy. Yes, who is Jimmy? Jimmy is son of Mrs. and Mr. Jordan. So she is saying yes, all the things are related to furniture except his gold watch, and that too he promised to give that to my son. Mrs. Slater, promised your Jimmy? I never heard of that. See, she is asking, he promised to give that gold watch to your son? I don't know that. I never heard that. Mrs. Jordan, oh, but he did, Amelia. When he was living with us, he was very fond of Jimmy. See, she is explaining. You don't know, Amelia? Yes, he promised me. When he promised, when he was living with us. That means for a few years he lived along with her younger daughter Jordan also. So when he was lived with them, then he promised, I will give after my death my gold watch belonged to Jimmy. Mrs. Slater, well, I don't know. She was surprised. Amazed means she was surprised and she is saying, no, no, I don't know about that. Ben, anyhow, there is his insurance money. Have you got the receipt for the premium he paid this morning? See, children, they are not worried about their father's death. They are worried about the things which they have to share between them. So, they are talking about gold watch and now they are talking about insurance money. Yes, he was a good person, he paid insurance money. Yes, now insurance money is also there to share. Then he is asking, Ben is asking, have you find that receipt when he paid, really he paid or not? Mrs. Slater, I haven't seen it. Victoria jumps up from the sofa and comes behind the table. She came very near to them where they are sitting. Then Victoria, Mother, I don't think Grandpa went to pay his insurance this morning. She is saying, Victoria is saying, yes, our grandpa went out, but I am not thinking that he went to pay his insurance money. Mrs. Slater, he went out. Victoria, yes, he went out, but he didn't go into the town. He met old Mr. Tattersall down the street and they went off past St. Philip's Church. So, where he went, Victoria observed everything. Her grandpa went outside but not into the town. He met his old friend or a person in that place. His name is Mr. Tattersall and both went to the Philip's Church not to pay premium. Ben, do you think he hasn't paid it? Was it overdue? Overdue means not paid by the expected time. If you are not paying at a correct time, we have to pay fine or it will be, we are not getting proper money at the end completion of the insurance. So here Ben is asking, you don't know that he paid or not? Is it overdue? Mrs. Slater, I should think it was overdue. Then she is saying, then if he hasn't paid money, then it's a overdue. Mrs. Jordan, something tells me he hasn't paid it. Yes, I before guessed it. My sixth sense told that he hasn't paid money. Ben, the drunken old beggar. See, children, before that, what they said, he was very thoughtful person. He is thinking about his daughters. He was a good person. They talked like that. But now, when they came to know he hasn't paid the premium, then what they are saying? He is a drunken old beggar. Next, Mrs. Jordan. He has done it on purpose just to annoy us. See what she is saying. What she is saying, Mrs. Jordan. He has done it on purpose. On purpose means intentionally, kavalani, to make us annoyed, to make us angry. He haven't paid that premium. He hasn't paid that premium. Mrs. Slater. After all I have done for him, having to put up with him in the house these 3 years, it's nothing short of swindling. Swindling means cheating. See what she is saying, after all I have done for him. I looked after him. I took a lot of care to him. But what he did, what he did for 3 years, she is taking care of her father, and what he did for these 3 years, he haven't paid premium. There is nothing is there to share, to take. So that's why she is saying that her father swindling, cheated her. Mrs. Jordan, I had to put up with him for 5 years. See how many years Mrs. Jordan's father, Abel Merriweather, stayed with her daughter Mrs. Jordan for 5 years. I too took care of him for 5 years. Mrs. Slater, and you were trying to turn him over to us all the time. Yes, you took care of 5 years, but always you are trying to send him to our house. Henry, but we don't know for certain that he hasn't paid the premium. We are talking like that, but we are surely we don't know that he paid or not. Then Mrs. Slater, Victoria, run upstairs and fetch that bunch of keys that's on your grandpa's dressing table. So what she said, to bring the keys of bureau. Yes, here see children. Victoria, in grandpa's room. Mrs. Slater, yes. Victoria, I don't want to do like that. I don't want to bring that keys down. Mrs. Slater, don't talk so silly. There is no one who can hurt you. We will see if he's locked the receipt up in the bureau. See children, bureau is belong to Victoria's grandpa, so he may keep the important papers and important things maybe in the bureau. So she wants to check now it. So that's why she is saying to her daughter, don't talk so silly. Now you go and bring, there is no one to hurt you. Victoria goes out reluctantly. Reluctantly means unwillingly. She went up to bring that keys. When? In where? In this thing, he rises and examines it. He went near to the bureau and he is asking, where? In this bureau? I think bureau is related to you. Then how he will keep that important papers belong to him in this bureau? Mrs. Jordan also rising. Where did you pick that up, Amelia? It's new since last I was here. So now they are talking about that bureau. No, how they manage, let me see. Where did you pick that up? Pick up. Pick up means buy or collect. From where you got this bureau? Last time, when I visited last time, it was not here. They examine it closely, very nearly. They went near to the bureau and they are examining. Mrs. Slater, oh, Henry picked it up one day. One day, my husband, Henry, bought it, purchased it. Victoria returns, very scared. She closes the door after her. She came fast. She returned from the upstairs and she was scared. Scared means afraid, fearful, frightened. She saw something upstairs. So immediately after coming back, she closed the door. Victoria, mother, mother. Mrs. Slater, what is it, child? Victoria, grandpa is getting up. According to them, Victoria's grandpa was dead. But when she visited upstairs to bring keys down, she saw her grandpa was getting up. Ben, what? Mrs. Slater, what do you say? Victoria, grandpa's getting up? Grandpa is getting up. Mrs. Jordan, the child is crazy. Crazy means mad, foolish. Why she is saying like that? Because according to them, Mrs. Jordan's father was dead. Mrs. Slater, don't talk so silly. Don't you know your grandpa is dead? You don't know that? We are all talking about your grandpa was dead. Then how can he get up? Victoria, no, no, he is getting up. I saw him. They are transfixed with amazement. Victoria clings to Mr. Slater. See, transfixed. Transfixed means became motionless in fear. భయంతో కదలిక లేకుండా నుంచుండిపోయారు. Victoria clings to Mrs. Slater. Clings means holds on tightly to somebody because she was full of fear. చాలా భయపడిపోయింది. According to them, he was dead. So then who is waking up? Who is getting up? Who is coming down? Is it really a Merryweather? Abel Merryweather? Ben. Suddenly, hiss. Listen. That means something sound heard to them. See, they locked at the door. Sorry, children. They looked at the door. A slight chuckling is heard from the upstairs. Chuckling means a quiet laugh, little laugh, smile. He is laughing, and the doors opened. He opened his door, revealing an old man clad in a faded but gay dressing gown. See, children, revealing. The door opens. The door opened, and old man clad means he dressed in a faded means dull looking, light colored dress and gay dressing gown. This is the gay dressing gown. He is in stocking feet. Stocking feet means he wore socks. Although over 70, he is vigorous. Vigorous means, in the first part we learned, vigorous means strong, active and well colored. He was colorful man and he was very active even though he was 70. His bright, malicious eyes twinkle under his heavy, reddish grey eyebrows. He is, see, how is he? He is very strong, he is very active, he was colorful and he was wearing this type of gown, this type of dress, and his bright, malicious eyes. Malicious means hateful, harmful eyes. To them, really he is not like that, but according to them they are thinking like that. His eyes are very harmful, looks are very harmful, and they are twinkling, they are sparkling under his heavy reddish grey eyes brow. They are sparkling. This is the appearance of Abel Merriweather. He is obviously either the old man Abel Merriweather or else is ghost. See what they are thinking. Really he may be a old man, or if he is not, according to them he was dead. So according to them, why they are all frightened? Because they are thinking it was his ghost, not real old man Abel Merriweather. So this is the first part, children. Let me see what will happen. He was really a ghost or really a Abel Merriweather. Let me see in the Dear Departed part 2. Okay children, this is the end of the part 1, the Dear Departed. Thank you. I will post a worksheet in your WhatsApp group. Listen one more time this video. If it is not understood for the first time, then try to complete the worksheet and forward in your respective WhatsApp group. Thank you children.